Am I being anxious, or is this just normal? Am I showing the signs of an anxious attachment style, or am I just behaving in a normal, human, healthy way to someone who's just not showing up great, unavailable, whatever? And this is a fantastic question. It's kind of inspired by this little short reel I saw this morning by, I think his name's Therapy Jeff. And he was basically saying that it's totally normal for you to feel anxious in cases where your partner ignores you, pulls away, there's a change in behavior, they feel disconnected, they don't text you back, they can't give you a straight answer, they can't describe their feelings, et cetera, right? There's a laundry list here. And what he finishes with this idea. He says, if you're feeling those things, that's a totally normal human reaction to be in a relationship with someone who's not showing up in a connected way. Great. Okay, let's dig into that. Yes and no. The feelings of anxiety when a person doesn't show up, ignores you, et cetera, this is a normal reaction. Okay? That is an evocation of an emotion that arises up inside us. And there's a reason why that emotion is there. We'll come back to that. But there's another aspect to this. This is only half the story. And this is a place where, like, I totally believe he's got a good heart and he's trying to help people that kind of have anxious tendencies to not feel bad about themselves, which is great. We definitely want that. But it's only half the story, because the other half of the story is, do you stay? Right? To be in a place where I'm in a situation with a person and it's like they don't text me back, we feel disconnected, they can't describe their feelings, they don't honor my feelings at all, they treat my feelings like they're an annoyance or some kind of problem, they're not texting me back, they're not communicating well, whatever, like any of the things on this laundry list that are frequently associated with anxious behavior, anxious attachment style. Right? If you're in a dynamic with someone that is dissatisfying you in those ways, feeling unsatisfactory in those ways, we got to ask the question, why are you staying? And this is where it's very indicative of an anxious attachment style, right? Okay, feeling anxiety when my partner is disconnected, pulled away, or doesn't text me back, a little bit of anxiety about that. Okay, we can acknowledge that's a normal human reaction. We'll come to the emotions to that later. But if this is a chronic issue with this relationship, if this happens all the time, if I'm ruminating about this or stressing about it, or I'm feeling this anxious disconnection from them chronically, why am I still here? And that is on you. That's on me when I did this. And I did it for years. So, like, I'm not, any fingers can be pointing at me. I literally did this for years, decades. And we have to ask the question, why am I staying another 10 seconds with someone who clearly is incapable of showing up in the ways that my nervous system needs at a fundamental level, at least in this moment? See, we have an incompatibility here. This person cannot show up. The partner, which we're going to, sure, if you want to label them avoidant or pick your label, they're showing us who they are. They're showing us what they're capable of. They're showing us where their priorities are. They're showing us where they will put their energy willfully and where they will show resistance. That's a true picture of who they are, and they're showing it to us honestly. Now, here we are on this side, and we're being like, no, I want more. I want different. I want you to text me back. I want you to show up for me. I don't want you to pull away. I want to be intimately connected with you when we're in bed, whatever, right? I want you to be different than you are. That's on me. They're showing me who they are. but I refuse to accept it. I don't just refuse to accept it. I'm not only demanding that they be different than they are, I'm getting all hurt and frustrated and pissy and raging that they are not different. I'm saying, I want you to be different than you are. And then the fact that you won't change, that you won't be different, means you're wrong. And somehow I'm the victim here. I'm the victim here because you're not going to show up the way that I demand that you show up. And this is actually a very clear indicator that there is an anxious attachment style at play here inside me. So while it might be healthy, okay, normal to feel a little bit of anxiety when my partner suddenly has a behavior change, or suddenly isn't texting me back, or is chronically disconnected, or doesn't know how to explain their, describe their emotions or honor mine or whatever else, while those might be healthy, we have to look at the time span in which you are enduring them. Because the healthier, secure, grounded people will not endure that for very long. So this is why it's only half the story. Half the story is that it's fairly normal for a human to suddenly feel an emotion when a situation that they care about is suddenly unpredictable or has changed direction. Because it's like, what is it about this that I don't understand yet? There's something here that I don't like. But it is very indicative of a wounded attachment system to stay in that environment, keep pushing, keep trying, keep blaming, keep feeling all the negative emotions, and just be like, no, this is the place where I want to be. I can't step away from this. I want you to be different. I want you to start showing up for me. Why can't he just show up for me the way that I want him to? That's very, very clearly a sign of a wounded attachment system that is using anxious strategies to get needs met. And I see this all the time on the internet. God. Yeah, I've been doing this for 10 or 15 years. And back in the early days when I was just I was lost in my own wounds, my own anxieties. I had it all. I had all three insecure attachment styles. I was diagnosed with PTSD, CPTSD, and years before that, I think I was diagnosed. I was diagnosed with a general anxiety disorder. And years before that, when I was a basically early teen, diagnosed with ADD, which of course later I think they changed to ADHD. These are all things that plagued me. And then, of course, the internet comes along and I start looking up all this stuff and I find these videos and shorts and blogs and books and everything else, and anything that would justify this pain that I'm feeling and the blame that I'm able to attach to my partner was like gold. It's like, yeah, she's an avoidant. Like if she could just fix herself, everything would be just fine. It's totally normal and natural for me to feel this way. Friends, that is not a helpful path. That path kept, hey, if you engage in that path and it helps you escape, fantastic. Share your secrets, please. But as someone who stayed in that loop for years and years and years, and I lost years of my life, and I lost years of opportunity, and I lost years of things I could have been spending my love and joy and life energy on. I missed those opportunities because I was so wrapped up in this dynamic. And one of the things that kept me wrapped up in that dynamic is this thing that is just like, yeah, you're justified in making demands, in feeling the way you feel, and attaching the blame to other people. That kept me stuck. And that's why I'm here trying to teach people as passionately as I can how to get unstuck, how to break free of all this. So Therapy Jeff, I'm sure he's got a great heart and he's really trying to help people. But these short messages out of context without the whole story is just going to show up I've got 3 clients right now that would just eat this up like a silver platter. They would just like soak this up like a sponge and be like, yeah, I'm justified in feeling anxious and pissed and having expectations that my partner's going to show up the way that I want him to. And it's like, I'm sorry, but that attitude is toxifying this relationship. And in one of the cases, I'm also seeing the partner and I'm hearing about what the partner is going through. And that relationship didn't make it. That relationship ended just a few months later because the anxious side showed up with a tremendous amount of expectation and demand and a huge dysregulation if their demand was not met. And the person on the other side, definitely avoidant, but hugely good heart and really wanting to show up in the best possible way, was completely overwhelmed. The demands were, in their eyes, were way too high. And they found that they were adjusting and modifying their entire life to fit around the dysregulation of this anxious person, the person with an anxious attachment style. I don't really like to attach the label too firmly to a person. That's the way it plays out over and over and over again. And so any message that comes through the internet that says, yeah, you're justified in feeling anxious, you're just having a normal, natural human behavior, while there is an aspect of that is true, look at the impact. Look at what happens to that person that receives that message and how they integrate it into their healing process. And most of the time, it's not good. All right. Part 2. Let's loop around to what is this anxiety we are feeling, right? This is an emotion. People say, oh, I feel anxious when he changes his behavior, or I feel anxious when, he pulls away and I don't hear from him for a couple of days, right? And they speak about I'm anxious or anxiety as this kind of like unitary truth of the universe. It's like gravity or math. It's just a thing and I happen to get it. No, totally unhelpful. Again, I did this for years and decades. Not proud of that. We speak about anxiety as if it's a thing that is unique, an affliction, a disease, or just a natural state. I heard someone this morning just be like, oh, I've just accepted that I'm anxious kind of the same way that I'm blonde or I'm, got brown eyes. And no, anxiety is just a fancy word for fear. And this truth changed my life. Like, probably more than anything else. And I've been doing a lot of crap for a lot of years. Anxiety is just another fancy term that we put on the experience of fear and panic. Why do we do this? Because we so dislike the fear and panic that I'm experiencing that I don't even want to name it. I don't want to label it. Like, I'm terrified. My partner leaves, right? We have a fight. She takes off. I text her, hey, I'm sorry, I'm and no response. Not even a read. Like, what, has she blocked me now? Oh, now she hates me so much. Like, we had this fight and now she's blocked me and like, I'm never going to see her again. And this is my anxiety spinning, right? This is a fear and panic that I have inside me, but I won't name it as such because sometimes it's shame. Like, admitting that I'm in a state of panic would be shameful. That means I'm weak. That means I'm soft. That means I'm not strong. That means I'm not doing the work. That means that all this money I've spent on therapy has not really helped me, right? So that's one loop we get in. Or just, right, why wouldn't we name it fear? Why wouldn't we use a simple, clear word that everybody understands? I am afraid and I'm in a state of panic because something has happened between me and my partner. And so one of the main things that I do in this work, like kind of in my public classes and one-on-one sessions and everything else, is that it's trying to discharge all this yucky assumptions we have about emotions. It's just like, sure, we can offload it and say, my nervous system is in a state of panic. Sometimes that helps the ego, right? But get real about it. Get very, very real. I am in a state of panic because we had a fight with my partner. We are disconnected. I do not feel the reassurance of her presence in my life, and knowing that I've got a person, and knowing that she likes me, and knowing that I'm going to see her tomorrow, or blah, blah, blah. I don't have that reassurance right now, and that is unsettling. That scares me. And now I'm trying to reconnect desperately because I want to get that reassurance back. And so I'm sending messages and sending apologies and blah, blah, blah. And now she's not even reading my messages. So now I feel like I'm in double threat, is that we're disconnected. I don't have that reassurance of a person being present, saying I'm worthy, valuable, lovable, etc. And the situation, the fact that they're not reading my messages or responding or whatever, is now got additional fear next to it, because it feels like we're not going to recover from this, that this is going to be the end, that I'm going to lose that validating force in my life forever. And that's terrifying. So instead of trying to put a pretty sticker on it and say, I'm anxious, I've got an anxious attachment style, just get very real and say, I'm fucking terrified right now. Be like, no, don't say that, Kirby. Look at the signs in your physiology. Put your hands out, arm's length. Look at your fingers. Are they shaking? If so, you have cortisol and norepinephrine coursing through your veins. Go look in the mirror. Look at the pupils of your eyes. Are they fluctuating? That's stress hormones in your system. Is your brain struggling to think straight? Yes. That's stress hormones in your system, right? Your physiology is telling you that you're in a state of panic. Okay, why? Aha, now we're getting to it, right? So we'll go back to the original laundry list. It's like partner pulls away, they change in behavior, they feel disconnected, they don't message back, they can't honor my feelings, they can't describe their own feelings, we're disconnected in bed, blah, 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 right? And people say, oh, that's just a normal anxious response. Let's look at that. Can we find any human being that will not feel anxiety in that situation? Yes, absolutely. Thousands of them, probably hundreds of thousands of them. But we're like, okay, well, some of those are going to be damaged, right? They're going to be narcissists or avoidant or bipolar or dissociative disorder, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, well, let's sort those out and be like, can we find a healthy person that walks through life emotionally available, open, able to face stress, grounded, self-aware, would pass any psychological test for stability and well-being. And yes, we can find that person, and they would also not feel anxious in that situation. That tells us it's not universal. But let's dig into it. What is this feeling of anxiety we're feeling? This feeling of anxiety, which we now know is just fear, it's just panic. What is the panic about? My partner doesn't message me back. Inside my brain, there's a little voice that says, they're never coming back. Okay. There's a lot of people that never come back. We meet people every day that we will never, ever see again, but we don't stress that they're never coming back. Okay, so it's not that. Okay, so what is it? Why are you worried that they're never coming back? It's like, well, this is a good thing. We care about them. We love them, right? And I want to keep having them in my life. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Do you want them in your life if that's a bad path for them? If that's going to be destructive for their future or their well-being or the state of their nervous system or re-traumatizing them or whatever? If we love them, we would not want to force them into a situation that is going to be a detriment to their future. Okay, that's getting kind of extreme. Maybe that's advanced. But the main thing is we want to get into the emotion that we're feeling. What is the fear? What is the thing I'm actually afraid of? The thing I'm afraid of is that here's a person sitting in front of me, maybe cuddling with me, maybe having sex with me, maybe just hanging out in my life. Here's a person and they provide something. What is that something? That something is validation. The message that I'm enough, the message that I'm lovable, the message that I'm desirable, the message that I'm attractive. They're providing a validating energy in my life. And when that validating energy comes into my life and it is present, all of my negative beliefs get to be suppressed. I get to feel good about myself. And I like feeling good about myself. And now, if that person looks like they're walking away, looks like they're going to take that validating energy away from me, and they're going to stop validating me, now I'm left here by myself. And then a double whammy happens. This is why it creates such a spin of anxiety and dysregulation in most lives, is because it's not just the loss of the person and the friend and the best friend and the everything else. It's this double whammy. It's that here's a validating force that keeps my negative self-belief down, because every single day she's here hugging me, kissing me, whatever, saying I'm cool and sexy and blah, blah, blah. That allows me to keep my beliefs down. So as soon as she leaves, all my beliefs pop back up again and say, see, you are unlovable. You are ugly. You are unattractive. Like, that's my shadow beliefs inside. That's my insecurity. Those are reflections of my unresolved attachment wounds that create an environment where I engage in anxious behavior because I'm trying to monitor. No, go back. It creates anxious behavior patterns that are strategies to care for this, to basically manage this negative self-belief I have inside myself. The person that is here giving me the validating energy pushes all that down. So as soon as they leave, that voice comes back and says, see, you are unlovable. See, every relationship will fail. See, they will cheat on you. No one's going to care for you. No one's going to be there for you. No one's going to make the ultimate sacrifice to be present with you and care for you and nurture you your whole life. That's the voice of the child that was there in the moment of the initial attachment wound. When mom wasn't there enough and demonstrated to my nervous system that she's not always going to be there for me. And that hurt. And it hurt so bad that my nervous system creates an entire network of behavioral mechanisms and quick responses to say, anytime someone looks like they're about to leave, panic, activate all the defenses, activate the entire system so that we can do everything possible in our power to prevent the bad thing from happening. That is how the attachment system works. So this feeling of partner pulls away, is disconnected, sudden change behavior, all of these things, all of these feelings we're feeling in reaction to that we're calling anxiety, is just fear. And it's fear that something I care about is about to be taken away from me. A place of safety is about to be unsafe. And that's why people say it's a normal human reaction. Yes, it is completely normal for a human nervous system to respond with fear, which we can call anxiety or many other things. Sometimes it shows up as anger. It's completely normal for a human nervous system to respond with fear, to evoke fear when it is looking at a situation and said, a situation that was safe and trusted and predictable is about to be unsafe, untrusted, unpredictable. That's normal because that's the way our system responds to threat. Where this is abnormal, or abnormal is not the right word, we can say less than healthy, is that my nervous system is seeing this behavior and associating it with threat. It's saying, my nervous system is saying, If my partner doesn't text me in 4 hours, somehow there's a threat. If my partner doesn't read my messages, there's somehow a threat. If I get in a fight with my partner and we have any kind of disconnection, that's a threat. See, this is where the wiring is a little bit confused. Our nervous system, more specifically, our attachment system, which the way I see it, the attachment system is the master index of threat and safety. My attachment system is misinformed. My attachment system is activating a threat response in situations that are not actually threatening to my existence or my well-being. And this is the difference between the anxious attachment style and the secure attachment style. The secure person sees the partner pulling away, changing behavior, being disconnected, whatever. The secure person sees that and they don't activate a threat response. They say, oh, this person's going through something. There's no threat to my existence. I'm just going to walk away. That's the difference. That's the thing that I see happening online with lots of influencers and lots of people that are talking about attachment theory on these shorts and videos and everything else. And they don't really understand what's going on. They're just using the labels and throwing them around like some kind of, mathematical trait. You're anxious, you're preoccupied, you're fearful, whatever. No. This has to do with the way that person's nervous system is responding to a particular situation. The secure person says, that's unfortunate, no threat to me. This doesn't align with me, no threat to me. Whatever's going on here is in the ownership of this other person. There's no threat to me. I don't need to react with panic. I don't need to respond with stress. I don't need to activate any of the stress systems inside my body when this person behaves this way. It's simply not in alignment with me. And so I'm going to bail and then walk away with no emotional payload. But the person with attachment wounds, they have a prior experience where this situation was incredibly threatening. They're going to activate a threat response and they're going to have a very big emotional payload and they're going to respond to that with great big energy. And so while this might be a normal human behavior, look at the rest of the picture. And you can see that most people that respond to this stimulus, partner not available, change of behavior, blah, 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 whatever, they're responding with a big emotional intensity, which means they've got unresolved wounds, which means they've got likely an insecure attachment style. And there's no shame in that. There's no shame in having an insecure attachment style that's literally like 75% of the earth, right? Some people say 50. Nobody believes that. I would guess that it's probably like 80% of the world probably has an insecure attachment style. No shame in that. It's simply an issue of where do you put your energy? Do you put your energy in trying to fix the other? That never works. Do you put your energy in trying to blame the other or label the other or gather your friends together and be like, yeah, that guy's a jerk, right? That's totally unhelpful. That's not going to help your future life be better. Trust me, I did that for a long time. Not helpful. Or do you take this information in and say, like this thing, like, yeah, I picked this guy. I picked this guy and he's clearly emotionally unavailable. Why did I pick him? Okay, maybe I can't figure that right now, but why am I staying with him? Why do I wake up every single day and say yes to this person when he's clearly shown me that he's not interested in my feelings? He can't describe his own. He changes behavior frequently. He's disconnected, blah, blah, blah. It's like, that's on me. My nervous system is responding to threat when he shows up like that because I've got a prior wound and I don't want to be in this situation anymore. So I'm going to walk. And if my nervous system revolts in those moments and makes it very, very hard to disconnect, we get help. Because at that point, it's functioning like an addiction. And if I was addicted to crack cocaine or heroin or whatever else, and I try to fight that on my own, some people do, hooray to you, like super respect for that. But for other people, if they're fighting an addiction, it makes sense to get help. And we're out here. Myself, many people like me, we're out here and we understand these dynamics really, really well, enough to kind of help retrain your nervous system in a direction that will enable you to have the strength to break free. And then a new set of exercises that will help you decrease this panic response you have to these situations. And then new exercises that will help your nervous system change the way it chooses people. And this is a in-depth process, and it takes some time, usually about 6 months, but it pays dividends. And I'm walking, talking proof of it. Like those things I mentioned earlier, the PTSD, CPTSD, and general anxiety, blah, 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 whatever those labels were that came upon me, they have no impact on my life anymore. It's like they are done and gone. They are behind me. And it's an amazing feeling to be on this side of it. And so it's like, I want to do everything I can to help other people get onto this side, because it really is the path to a better world, better relationships, more joy, more happiness, healthier children, all that. I hope this has been helpful. I believe in you. Peace.